welcome to Focus on B, the video series where I spent about 20 or so minutes playing and talking about a game that I've got some thoughts on, and this is Turok Free, the Night Dive Remaster, because why not? I mean, it's a change, right? And it's a really, really nice remaster of a game that is, funnily enough, I almost have to agree, probably the weakest in the trilogy. But it's interesting because it's also the most playable in the trilogy. So what does that mean? Well, it's the weakest in the sense that it has an incredibly, I'm just gonna say it, boring campaign. It's so uninteresting. The level design is clearly taking cues from the games that were becoming popular of the time. So, unlike Turok 1 and 2, which had very big open-ended levels, they weren't open world games per se, but the levels required some exploration. Well, here the levels are completely linear. Now, you know me, I don't mind that. I actually really enjoy simple linear levels. Half-Life is awesome. Even games like, I don't know, Halo are kind of cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Halo per se, but I don't think its level design is why I'm not a huge fan of it. The level design is fine, actually. Fear, what else? I don't know, Quake, I guess, like lots of games that have that sort of... The level design isn't completely railroaded like that of a Spunk Gargle Wee Wee shooter, but it's clearly guiding you, very clearly. Like here, you step on the thing, what's it gonna do? It's gonna open that thing. If this were Turok 1, in fact, it's actually a level that is based off of one of the locations from Turok 1. In Turok 1, something like that would open up some giant passage somewhere else in the other part of the level. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the idea. I've been playing through Turok 1, the remaster for that game, and, well, I've been having a much better time than with the original, but wow, let's just say I needed to look up a couple things. In fact, one of my favorite things that Night Dive have added to these games as a whole is this right here. Not just because you can type in G-O-D and become invincible, but also this, F-L-Y. Aha. And now you can do this. And that is amazing. It is so helpful for Turok 1, and I might play Turok 2 as well. Yeah, I know I did a video on Turok 2, the original. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on the remaster, but I'm definitely going to play the remaster for myself, because the fact that you can do this, and I imagine you can also do this. Yes, you can. Oh my god. Okay. I think I've found my solution. No, I'm going to try not to rely on this stuff like I did with my first playthrough of, for example, Forsaken. However, it is a godsend. It makes these levels so much easier to traverse. Not in this game. This game does not need that whatsoever. That's because Turok Free, as I said, is a very linear experience. Every single level has only one way to go. There's no optional collectibles. Well, there are goodies to find, but there's no keys. There's no hunting for stuff, basically. It is a totally Half-Life-ified experience. It's even simpler than Half-Life, actually. But you know why I have found myself not... I don't want to say I don't like this game. However, it is definitely not as engaging on different levels compared to Turok 1 and 2. You know why? Well, maybe this is a little bit predictable, but the character speed. Like, look at this. Look at how fucking slow my character moves, man. I hate that so much. See, in Turok 1 and 2, you're a fast boy. You go around like crazy. But here, it's like, oh, you're plodding along. And what I don't understand is that if they were trying to be a Half-Life clone, Gordon's fast as shit. He's a fast boy, too. It's because it's based on the Quake engine, where you're fast as hell. So it's odd to me that they made the character so slow. Now, I understand that on the N64, they can only render about 2 square feet per hour. So I get why they want the character to be slow, but the character was fast in the previous games, even on the N64. So I don't get it. And there's actually a way to remedy... the loading screen broke my fall. There actually is a way to remedy this problem. In fact, let's go ahead and show it off right now. Let's go ahead and click on Secrets, Chapter Warp. I'm a huge fan of this feature. I don't know if it was in the original, but it's here. Let's go to the military base level. And now, oh wait, no shit. I have to, yeah, I gotta quit the game, go to return to title. Now, I can go to I can go to secrets. Secrets, chapter warp again. There you go. And now we can play as this character right here, because let's play on... I mean, you know, let's play on Oblivion, because it will result in a couple of points for me to talk about. So you have Danielle, right? The thick boy Amazon chick. She's actually Native American. The tiny boy, right? This guy, I do not buy that he's 15 for a second, but okay. The guy from the second game, actually. And Dinosaur Go Burr. Night Dive have been afflicted with the curse of contemporary language. Oh god. Anyway, but this is cool, because this guy remedies my biggest problem with the game. He's fast as fuck, boy. Hey, look at him go. He's fast as hell. Now, to balance this speed, what they've done for the Velociraptor guy is he only has these free moves. Like, he only has his claws, the razor wind, and the energy grapple. So really, he only has 2 methods of attack, one of which is incredibly unreliable. This thing right here, I've heard some people describe it as overpowered. I believe Jake the Dragon said that. Is that his name? Jake the Gaming Dragon, that guy. He said that this weapon is kind of overpowered. Like, when you get it, you're not going to want to use anything else. I don't agree. I mean, look, I have to get so freaking close to them to actually do damage. And if they move at any point, they exit the trajectory of the... Oh, for fuck's sake. Of the Razor Wind. So what happens is, it actually gets really tricky later on landing shots. Now, of course, this being a game where you have cool little secrets, you don't necessarily have to limit yourself to this arsenal. Now, I'm going to try and play with this arsenal for a bit, but I'm going to show you something which I believe is unlocked after beating the game twice. That's what I noticed. Maybe they unlock gradually throughout the campaign, but I only checked my secrets menu after completing the game a second time with Joshua. So, I mean, first you have to complete it with well, you can complete it with whoever, but basically you complete it with both characters, and then you get the other 2 characters, which, well, I haven't completed the game with Joshua Fireseed or with, and I meant Joseph earlier. Shut up. Yeah, I haven't completed the game with Joshua or this guy, but I doubt there'd be anything more, right? But anyway, so... let's just keep playing through and showcase something else that this game has me mixed on. But like, seriously, look at this. Just by what the fuck? Just by increasing the movement speed instantly, just like that, this campaign becomes more enjoyable. The level design is still, I don't want to call it trite, but because I'm not sure how severe of an insult that is. I don't hear that word super often. But what I mean is, it's just kind of linear corridor, well, and it's totally fine. It's just that the combat in this game isn't good enough. The gunplay in the Turok games has never been its strong point. I think the movement and level design, or at least the exploratory factor of the level design, the exploration, was what made the game so memorable and strong. With Turok Free, they lean into the weakness of the series, which is the gunplay, because it's not great. Honestly, there's not a lot of great gun feel, and the weapons always feel like they're kind of floating. It has that GoldenEye thing going on. Except GoldenEye, well, I don't really know what excuse it would have, but I feel like with GoldenEye, the bullets felt a little bit better to shoot, right? And here, I mean, look at how awkward this is to fire. Now let me show you what I was talking about earlier when it came to the weapons. Because as you can see, if I go to secrets, all weapons, all character weapons, also unlimited ammo, because why not? So now, look at this shit. I got every single weapon in the game. Almost, I think. So you know what that means? You select, I don't know, the shotgun? No, that's not the real shotgun. I want the real shotgun. Oh, you can't pick the regular shotgun. That's just how it... Oh, no, there is. Shotgun. And now... you're actually just playing Quake with dinosaurs, and even then, not really. You're actually just playing Half-Life now. All you need now is to have the HECU guys go, "My ass is heavy," you know, like that, like how they do. And then there you go. It's Half-Life basically, except with music in the background more than 10% of the time. And yeah, this is fun. This is so much more fun. Now, unfortunately, the fact that I have to essentially play the game in the way that wasn't intended, I mean, yes, this was implemented by the developers. I haven't modded the game in any way. This is a totally vanilla install, so clearly the devs knew that you would do this at some point. It's not as if this is completely foreign to the game's design. However, I highly doubt the intended Turok free experience, especially from Acclaim's point of view, the guys who actually made the game. I doubt that they wanted you to be a fucking velociraptor running around with infinite ammo, shooting dudes with guns, with a gun you're not supposed to have for the sake of balancing. But here's an issue I have with this game's enemies. This is why I picked Oblivion difficulty, because the game is actually totally fine on easy difficulty for the most part. In fact, it's piss easy. But on Oblivion, well, the AI is still pretty dumb, but it's ridiculously accurate, and sometimes it feels like there's just no way to avoid them. Like, you just walk into a room, and no matter, even though it doesn't seem as if it's hit scan, because you can actually see the projectiles firing, but truthfully, I highly doubt that it isn't. I'm 90% certain that most of the attacks are hit scan. At least they feel like it, because they're fucking impossible to avoid most of the time. Right? We're gonna come across these enemies later on in this level, actually. I'm not sure if I'm in the right spot. No, I always get lost here. I can never exactly remember where to go, even though there's not really much to get lost. I mean, like, look, all you have to do is, there it is. This is the area, right? Actually, it isn't. There needs to be collectibles. Ah, that must be it. Okay, let's go up. And no, I'm wrong. Or am I wrong? Yes, I am wrong. Of course I'm wrong. Okay. There he is. Okay, finally. 80th time's the charm. So anyway, look at this shit. It's like, what the fuck do I do about this? Maybe I just suck at the game, but a tactical approach doesn't work here because of the nature of the enemy. So my only option at this point is to go like this and take him out, because he's gonna hit me otherwise. In fact, I literally have no choice but to stay with God mode on until I get some health. That's just the way the game's designed. And I don't think this is really that much of an issue on lower difficulties, and I understand that Oblivion is supposed to be the obligatory first-person shooter, ridiculously hard, downright impossible difficulty. You know, like how a lot of games used to basically acknowledge that their hardest difficulties are actually unplayable. You know, was it Quake or was it Doom that used to say that, like, the nightmare, or like the hardest difficulty possible was like, this difficulty is downright unfair, you have been warned. Right, implying that they just know that it's bullshit. Well, I understand that, but at the same time, most of the campaign doesn't feel too difficult. It's just a select few enemies that are ridiculously hard. But at this point, due to how much health I have, I mean, I literally have no choice but to God mode this shit. But look at how inaccurate the weapons feel, even with auto aiming on, which I keep on for certain weapons because I swear the bullet spread just feels so unreliable here. And this isn't some Counter-Strike shit where, oh, if I stand still, the weapon becomes more accurate. No, not really. I must go ahead and turn the auto-aim off. I've never actually tried doing that. Why not? Gameplay... I don't know where the setting is. There it is. Okay. Turn it off. So now it's going to be more like a traditional first-person shooter. Let's see how it is now. I gotta admit that the graphical facelift is very... Look at this shit. See how many shots that took? The facelift is very much welcome. I like that for this game, they actually went out of their way to truly recreate and or restore as many of the textures as possible. It's not like with the other ones where they just kind of use the highest possible resolution version, but it's still kind of low res anyway, which I never really had too much of a problem with, to be honest. I mean, the original Turok games still look kind of nice, even without Night Dive's enhancements, but they are cool as well. You know, they definitely give the game a nicer, sort of more softer look. I've always loved the way Turok 1 and 2 look, especially because of how colorful they are, especially Turok 2. This game, on the other hand, is clearly going for a slightly grittier kind of look, and I think it does it well enough. The music is nowhere near as good as Turok 2. I mean, not even close. It's the same guy, I think, same composer, but holy shit, it's not even close to being as good as... What the fuck? Why is it pitch black now? Wait, does playing as the Velociraptor randomize the levels? Because I literally just played this as the Velociraptor a little while, like just a few minutes ago, for testing purposes, and it wasn't like this. I mean, here's what you do. You hit N, and you get night vision, which is what Joseph has. Does the game randomize the levels to, like, when you're the Velociraptor to keep it fresh? That's kind of neat, actually. the fact that it either will play will either play, who do you call it? Joseph or Danielle's version. But yeah, last time this area was fully lit. And it was a different piece of level design, I swear it was. But anyway, I need to get a little bit more health before I can showcase this without constantly dying. So I really wish the night vision wasn't required for this section. Although I do like how this game doesn't pussy out of darkness, like how, because you know how a lot of games will have a dark part of a level, but in reality, it's actually still relatively visible. Here, they don't fuck around. Pitch black. You can't see anything unless you shoot or something. That is pretty ballsy. It's just complete pitch darkness. I like that. But anyway, let's try and disable God mode and see how long I survive. So, in fact, let's use the weapon that you're supposed to be using for... Actually, that wouldn't be fair. No, because let's say we're actually playing the game normally as one of the other two characters. In this case, it would be Joseph, although he doesn't have access to this weapon. I'm going to use it anyway because I like it. So, let's see how we're going to have to tackle this enemy. Shoot him like that. Okay, not too bad, right? In fact, come to think of it, maybe giving myself infinite ammo wasn't the best idea for this, considering that it's going to make it a little bit too easy now. But you know what? I'm on Oblivion difficulty and I'm okay with that. Ooh, I just noticed something. Do you walk a little bit slower with this weapon? Let's pick a different weapon now. Let's go back to this one. No, I wouldn't say it's any slower, actually. This part looks really cool with the night vision. Like, it's annoying that I have to use it, but it is still kind of a neat effect. Let's go ahead and shoot this guy up. So far the enemies don't seem too bad. Now, this is most likely because of my weapon of choice. But still, playing the game as the Velociraptor on its own, it is a nice challenge. I've always been a fan of these challenging New Game Plus mode type things where you beat the game normally and it was actually quite easy, so then the game gives you an alternate way to play it where it's more fun because of improved movement options, for example, but it's more challenging because of a limited arsenal. Although in this case, I mean, honestly, the Velociraptor's defense just must be shit or something, which I guess makes sense. So anyway, what was I doing just now? Like, where do I have to go in order to progress? So what did I do? So I went over here, and I did this, and I collected these things, and... I must have received the key card from this guy, who I can't jib because this isn't Half-Life, unfortunately. So anyway, yeah, but... was this the right choice of direction for the series? Well, seeing as Evolution actually tried to go back to... Evolution was an interesting mix. It has... the stylistic sensibilities of like an updated Turok 2, kind of, or even 1, more so 2, but the level design is actually more in line with this, but with some more obtuse puzzles and stuff. I haven't played enough of Evolution. I don't really know if I want to play it. I mean, if Night Dive by some chance actually give that game the treatment as well, I'll probably play it. I'll probably do a video on it, in fact, but they'll have some work to do. Right, because it's good that this game is still decent. Again, it's actually a pretty average shooter, but Turok Evolution has some serious problems, right? It's not absolutely abysmal, but I don't know. I can't really say I have like a super clear opinion on it. I haven't played it in a long time. It's, as far as I'm concerned, Turok Evolution was like, it's that dinosaur game I played on my friend's PlayStation 2, which was actually the worst version of the game, by the way. It was rushed. I mean, the whole game was rushed, but they were targeting GameCube because they assumed that, you know, the most people who were buying the game would be people who played the originals on the N64. So they were betting on that, and when then Acclaim requested that they make a PS2 version, they rushed it out. Funnily enough, that's the version that sold better, go figure, because it's the PS2, and so everyone remembers it being a buggy piece of shit. Now, I don't remember it being a buggy game, Turok Evolution. I just remember it being kind of hard to figure out what to do, which is par for the course, really, for the series. I have no health whatsoever. Let's see if I can actually take these guys out. Now, I understand this probably isn't objectively the best weapon to use or anything, but it's a freaking useful weapon. So anyway, what else do I have to talk about when it comes to this game? I mean, do I like it? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty fun. Is it overpriced? Absolutely. It is so fucking overpriced. Get this game on sale or don't get it at all. Like, seriously. It's such a short campaign. Look, Night Dive, I understand you put a lot of effort into the visuals, because they're nice. This is a very good-looking game. You know, relative to its own standards and style, of course. But, man, for the length and the design, I don't think it's worth it. Like, really, like... this is going to be super dated, obviously, because this video is going up in like a year, basically, by the time from recording this. But while I'm recording this, Just to give you a point of reference, Turok 1 is only €4, and Turok 2 is €5. Now that is a steal, right? You're getting so much more game for so much less buck. It's not even funny. So those games are way better value, obviously. If they somehow make this the same price, like, yeah, sure, but I don't know, man. It's just the way that this game is designed. It doesn't lend itself to a lot of replay value, but clearly I'm replaying it. I'm playing it for like the 4th time now, so I guess it does have replay value in that weird kind of, like, I want to believe that it does, so I play it more to try and convince myself, but I'm not really sure if that's true. I don't know. I really gotta play the remaster for Turok 2. That's what we've learned today. We gotta play Turok 2 at some point again. Even though I think a lot of my complaints will still stand because they're just fundamental to the game's design, just like with this game. Even if they were to... The only way to make this game way better would be to open up the levels a little bit, but not too much, right? I think Half-Life was so good because it did such a great job of having the levels, giving them a sense of world, and you felt like you had to look around a little more, but they weren't ever super confusing. They were always still linear, right? Whereas here, it almost feels like a joke. It's just like, walk forward a bit, shoot the guy, and... Okay, there are some moments that require a little more backtracking. That's later on in the game. Anyway, let's start wrapping this up because I'm not really sure what I'm talking about at this point. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Focus on B, the video series where I spent about 20 or so minutes playing and talking about a game that I've got some thoughts on. And this has been Turok Free Shadows of Oblivion. God damn it, Turok Free Shadows of Oblivion Remastered by Night Dive for, well, basically all the current platforms and PC.